Stand by, please. The 7th annual An Affair to Remember, talking about the blues. Stay tuned. We'll be right back right after this.
Your life is filled with opportunities to show the world you can take charge. It's waking up each day with a mission. It's working each day toward a goal. It's choosing to rise. It's charging forward with a purpose. It's changing the course of your life and taking charge of your future. If you're ready to be a Take Charger, enroll at Georgia Highlands College today.
Welcome to Community Watch. Greg,
Doug,
how are you?
got the blues.
Yes. So I know the event we're going to talk about today is an event you have supported, and the organization you've were still involved with.
Well, I'm sort of like you now. I do what I can when I can. I've learned a lot from you.
Really?
Yeah, let me buy some tickets.
That could be a mistake.
But it is the performing arts and the connection. It's really important to me and dear to me, because I do think, we were just talking to the mayor and we were talking about Black History Month, and I do think the arts help change attitudes, and I think the arts outside of sports may be the next biggest thing to help put people in different positions and allow people to have different perspectives. Because the arts can be non-offensive, but you can do a lot in that. And so I'm really big on education through the arts. So Miss Samuel's just, to me, one of the greatest Romans in my mind, and I think her commitment to the work that she does, I don't think sometimes we realize how important art is in terms of relationships and in terms of crossing divides. It's musicians are musicians, and if you get them in the room together, I don't care what they say politically. If you get them in the room together, if they're a musician, they'll play, and through that playing, they can develop connections. So, I love the arts.
Well, we will be talking about an event and the organization in today's show. We'll be joined by our two guests after this break. And I think it'll be a really good conversation, and you'll also find out about an event coming up that you don't want to miss. You really don't. So stay with us. We'll be right back with our guests after this.
Open road, here comes the Heffley family.
Whether it's a short trip or a long haul,
Estimated time 47 hours.
they will beg,
You're hungry? I'm happy to provide.
they will plead.
Deep fried butter on a stick.
But whatever you do, don't wimp out.
Now you're talking.
Make them buckle up.
He can't hurt.
Remember, safety first. Cheese curls second.
Are you orange?
Welcome back to Community Watch, and we are thrilled to have with us today Willie Mae Samuel and Russell McClanahan. Welcome, both of you.
It's great to be
Thank
here.
you.
Ms. Samuel, this is your, 90th, 100th show with us. I'm not somewhere in there.
And you keep forgetting to say the legendary,
The legendary.
honorable.
The legendary honorable.
Y'all need to stop.
You said we have been on the show.
A while, yeah. And we are always thrilled to have you.
And I'm always thrilled that you all make room for me to come.
Well, I know that this is an event that so many people have enjoyed, and I understand before we started, you said it was the 7th.
Yes.
I know many people have enjoyed it, but let's start with a conversation about the organization, the AACP. I want to get my initials right. AACPA. Tell us a little bit about that for the folks that don't know what that is.
That is the African American Connection for of the Performing Arts. I'm going to change that for to of, but anyway, it stands for the African American Connection. We started out with another name. We started out with the Heritage, some other name, and the gentleman that stand at the end of the table said, "No, you don't need to do that. You need to go on and call it what it is." Because we don't have a lot of arts. We don't have a lot of performances going on in here that deals with African Americans. You may have a couple of plays and may have 2, 3 children in it or people in it, but we need to do it. We need to go full force with it. So that's what we did. We called it the African American Connection for Performing Arts.
And that has existed.
Unapologetically.
That has existed for how long now?
We became incorporated in 2006, but when I went to East Rome High School when I first started teaching, of course the curriculum did not include things that black children could connect with and feel that they were a part. So each year we would have a Black History program during February for the entire school. And so I started back in the 60s doing a play. I'd just write a play, and we would do a play every year. And so after retiring and coming out into the city, I continued to try to carry on that routine. So the connection has not been around but since 2006, but we've been doing performances since '69.
And let me give you a little backdrop on that. So I think the president of the 100 at that time, or I know it was in the 100. So I went to a King Friday night play. And I'll be honest, I really didn't even care to go. But I had an obligation, been to 100, I got to support, And I seen one of Miss Samuel plays for the first time. And I saw Miss Samuel later, and I told her, I said, you need to be doing more than one play a year. This is just too important. And not knowing what I was doing, I became, involved in this process of producing and putting on plays. And I just think it is so important. Rome has a huge history of the arts. You can see theater and see all kind of entertainment all the time in Rome. But I felt, and I think other people felt, wasn't just me, but we really needed a African-American theater-like company that made sure there was art, and not just for African Americans, but connecting. That was part of it, connecting the community. And I just think we're very fortunate that Miss Samuel had just been so steadfast in this mission. And every year, I think the blues has been incorporated more and more different people. And so, but it's important that we take advantage of what we have here in Rome, all the great talent, but be intentional about what we're doing. Just really got to be intentional about making those connections.
And it's interesting you would say that, Greg. Before coming in, I thought about, a lot of people have said, why don't you just get a band from Atlanta, Birmingham, or whatever. But we've got, you said it, we have got so much talent right here in Rome, Georgia. And now it was accidental that I ran into Russell, but I had my ears open when I'm listening to people talk. He never knew what he was saying and how it was going to get him trapped.
None of us do.
Especially that first part. I didn't know what I was saying.
Yeah.
None of us do.
And so he thought that he walked off that we went to a little social gathering together, and he explained, he told us, and he did a lot of talking, and he didn't know I was trying to loop him in all at the same time. And so I continued to text him, email him, or whatever, and so here he is.
I thought it was the other way around. I thought I was.
We have seen this happen so many times.
So many times.
Well,
little did we know.
Well, Russell, describe for us the nature of your trappedness. What are you now in charge of?
I'm in charge of nothing, but I tell you what, F-U-N, fun is the key word. We've been practicing over at our house, and you know, I'm used to playing the guitar and kind of fronting a band. This is so nice to just lay back and play the harmonica. I've always wanted to. It's been kind of been like my dreams, and I love the blues. I've always loved the blues, but you know, the most I get is a different kind of blues. I mean, when Hardy starts singing, you got to come to the show. If the show is half as good as the practice, it's going to be amazing. And most of these musicians I didn't know, and that guitar player you got, man, and I play the guitar, but he is super. Bruiser, is that?
Right, his name is Richard Wright. We have two lead guitars, Al Roland and Bruiser.
Yeah, and it's I mean, it's just, but we've been practicing her living room, and it's just, I leave there, man, just walking on a cloud. You know? It is so much fun, and so much soul. And I think that you talk about the history. You know, this used to be on the Chitlin circuit, and you know, I work for the History Museum in Kent. There's so much the history that we don't know about. The black history. It just kills me, you know.
Most people probably don't even know what you're talking about when you say the Chitlin circuit. And only because I was African American Studies at Morehouse that I think I know, but I mean, the fact that Rome was part of that. You know,
B.B. King, you know, Jimi Hendrix, all those folks would come through here.
If there was anybody,
Otis Redding,
they came through Rome.
They did, because it was on the circuit, you know. And it's just to be a part of it, top of my bucket list.
Well, I think we've talked quite often about how much we have learned on the show, just talking to people. And I know I've learned a tremendous amount.
Oh, yes.
So Rome is really a remarkable place with a rich history. That, I mean, I'm glad the History Museum, and you of all people would know all of the things that people can see there, but there's still a lot out there. A lot out there.
So much.
But when Russell was talking, it just hit me, just that connection. He said, you know, I didn't even know these musicians, but yet, you know, and that's why I say it's so important, and we have to be intentional with some of this, because I just think when you connect people, this was the mission, you know, when we connect people, you know, it makes things better. And it's about building relationships, and the art is one of those things we can do. So, Ms. Sammy, I'm curious though, because I don't believe the blues you ever intended for to be a yearly theme, because usually you change a different theme, different season. So this has been 7 years, 6 years with the blues.
Right.
So what
I
was it?
I realized that that's an area of music that we really have neglected, and there are many reasons why we've neglected it. I was listening to some people saying that's devil music, that's whatever, and they were growing up, and that was what was said at their homes. Don't turn that devil music on and hear. And many black people had that experience. I don't know, you know, who else experienced, but I do know blacks did. And so we neglected it because of that. We didn't really understand how it came about and like where it started and why and what it means and all that. So after I did it the first year, I thought we've got much more to learn about it and much more to do with it. And so that's why Stephen told me, he said, you know, Mom, 7 may be the conclusion, that may be the end of it. And if you're going to make a change, then it would be this year. And so the 8th year might want to do something different. But I haven't made that decision yet. But it's just so much to learn about the blues. And he loves it. And but yet he's saying there's so much more that he has learned and will learn through this process. So.
Definitely.
Well, I know if this ends up being the last year, there are a lot of people who will be disappointed because they've enjoyed it so much. I mean, I can think of only a few events that people have talked about as much. So they've really enjoyed it. And Russell, you've been performing in this area for for a couple of years, haven't you?
It's, you know, music's one of those things. It's you either got it or you don't, and I just love it. I don't know that I've got the talent, but I've got the love for it. And you know, you're talking about, you'd mentioned how music it blurs the color lines. When I played with Stranger Malone, some of y'all might remember him. He was in his 90s, and he'd tell me about traveling on the road in the 1920s, and they had a black man with them, but they'd have to go to the hotel and say, "No, he's Indian. He's from India." And of course, this guy, they wouldn't allow him to talk, and so they could get him a room. But you get, like you said, you get a room full of musicians. The color just kind of is the music.
Yeah.
Well, we're coming up on a break in just a few seconds here. When we come back, I want to get some more particulars about the event, so people will know what exactly is going on and what it's about. So stay with us. We've got a lot more discussion ahead, and we will be back with you right after this.
Your life is filled with opportunities to show the world you can take charge. It's waking up each day with a mission. It's working each day toward a goal. It's choosing to rise. It's charging forward with a purpose. It's changing the course of your life and taking charge of your future. If you're ready to be a Take Charger, enroll at Georgia Highlands College today.
Welcome back to Community Watch. We're talking with Willie Mae Samuel and Russell McClanahan about an Affair to Remember, which is an event that's coming up on the 8th of March, which is like, you know, real soon. What is the 8th? The 8th's Friday or Saturday? Friday. And it's at the Civic Center?
Correct.
Yes, from 6:30 to 10:30.
Yes.
Tell us a little bit more about the event itself and what folks can expect.
We're starting at 6:30 because we kind of cater to people my age, and by 10 o'clock,
you mean 29-year-olds will be there?
They are ready to leave.
I'm in bed by then.
Yes. So we usually start out with the band. Will be playing from 6:30 to 7, about 7, maybe 7:15, and they'll just be playing music, no singing or anything. And then of course we'll just have the greeters, and they'll greet the people and tell who the host. Carrie Ingram is going to be co-hosting with Elliott Sams, so it'll be two of them co-hosting. And then we will start with a couple of songs, just not necessarily blues, but just a couple of songs. And then we will have, this year we're going to, if you notice, we're going to try to bring some memories in terms of Aretha Franklin. So we have 3 young ladies who are going to sing 2 selections each of Aretha. And after they do that, then we'll go to, Hardy always does this, Why I Sing the Blues. And so he'll do that, and he will introduce the band by doing it that way. And each band leader, member, whether he sings or plays, he will say Why I Sing the Blues. And that usually takes quite a while. And then after, because they get excited and start playing, when it's time for Russell to play the harmonica, they're playing so loud sometimes that we don't know that it's Russell's time. So that's something we need to get a handle on. But anyway, so after that, then we have Ted Barnett and various ones coming up singing various selections that we have chosen. One of the hardest thing I have had working with them is I've got maybe 3 who they think that if a song is not a Christian or spiritual, that it's the blues. And he's heard me saying to them, no, I'm not pleased with that. That's not the blues. That's not a blues. That's not what I want. But then there's one, he just wants to sing. So I let him sing, and it's not the blues. But so we
cook, but it ain't the blues.
It's not the blues. So we do that, and of course we'll have dinner which I didn't want dinner. I wanted just finger foods, but my little group outvoted me on that, so they'll be serving dinner at some point.
And the ticket price is
The tickets are $35. Right.
And for the, I was going to say for the entertainment value alone, 35 is pretty. That's a pretty great price.
It's a steal. Let's just be honest.
And I'm not even. I didn't realize there was going to be food, but now
It's a steal at $35.
Yeah.
Because I mean, and it's just, but you know me. I'm big about what we spend money on and what we value. And sometimes the things that really, I mean, this is living history. This is not just a performance. This is living history. We're talking about a genre of music that's almost obsolete, that we don't even talk about anymore. And to have people, some who have lived in the era, to still be able to perform and cater and give us this live, I mean, I don't know that $35 is a steal for that. Just my opinion. I mean, I just think it's a steal because just Mr. Barnett himself, when he gets to singing, I mean, and you have to, and for me, when you watch him, you can't help but see how he embodies this era of time that we could be, we're close to losing if we're not careful.
Right.
And so it's definitely an event that I think people should be supporting, because not only that, but the connection is a 501c3. So it's not like the money goes in the pocket of people. This is a nonprofit organization that actually put money back into the things that they do. So it's definitely something I hope people come out in numbers and support.
And when you said it's a steal, it is. By the time we get through with the expenses of it, Civic Center is not inexpensive anymore. Even though we think it is, it's not inexpensive. It's pretty expensive. And when you deal with food, dinner, decoration, and of course the band, and the band is not like a band. What I've done is what I did with Russell. Come on in. And so you have a lot of pieces, and they really work hard. They started practice in January, and we'll practice up until the day. So a lot of people don't realize that takes a lot.
I was going to ask, now y'all going to have a dress rehearsal for the public?
No, we had, we did that for the first 3 years. I would have them dress up, and we would, we went to different places, and that was what we call our photo op, which would be the pictures that we would use for the newspaper. But we stopped doing that.
Well, let me change the question, because I'm going to be out of town on the 8th.
Okay.
Now we're getting to the truth of the question.
Truth.
So you're going to have some finger food out at your house and people come over. It's not going to be in town that weekend. They can at least get a piece of some of that.
Russell will tell you that it's not finger food, but I have
I
to
know
feed,
at your house ain't no finger food.
I feed them every week. Sometimes they like it, sometimes they don't. Today, Russell was told that he has to eat rabbit, so Hardy has cooked a rabbit today to serve.
Will one rabbit do it? I mean,
yeah, because this is a buck.
Smothered.
This is a buck rabbit. No, we do. For those who don't eat rabbit, he's fixing something else. So we feed them every day, but won't have any finger foods for you to come out and enjoy.
I know you're gonna have food. I don't think you can come out to your house and not eat. So we have to go out, I guess, like that Tuesday or something, so we can catch it. Because I'm gonna be out of town, and I hate that. But
you're leaving on the 6th.
On the 7th.
On the 7th.
And so I hate that, but I just think this is an event. I mean, this is living history to me.
Well, we will have, and he doesn't do an excellent job, but we do have a young man who volunteers to video it for us. So just purchase a video. It's never like being there.
Yeah.
Never like being there.
The energy of it, the spirit of it, just hard to capture.
Yeah. So we'll have that for you. And as a matter of fact, you get one for free, okay? All right.
It's going to cost me something, though.
Yeah, there is no free in this. You understand that, right?
But I don't mind though, because some things you really, some things are just really important. And as we was talking to the mayor, I mean, I wish there was a way, how do we show more young people, get more young people exposed to this? Because now, in the music industry, you can go in the studio with no musicians at all and cut a demo, and cut a record and become a hit with not one live musician.
My.
And to me, while I respect that, that's a different, the blues is an art form. For people to play together, I mean, you really have to become a master at your craft to be able to play with people and follow their lead and go along with them. I mean, anybody can, you can learn to synthesize all this music together, but to watch true musicians play together.
Russell will tell you there are times when stop the drumming, you're going too fast, you're doing this. Hold up, you're supposed to hit it like this, and we're not really caring because I just but the musicians know.
Yeah, and so it's that is an art form, and I just think we're going to lose that at some point, I think, if we're not careful.
Well, the nice thing about the blues is it is an art form, but it's simple. It's not fancy. It's just right raw, right out there. And that's, I feel that so much when Hardy does, why do I sing the blues? And there's a couple of others. It's like, because like Willie May said that, there's different kind of, we got some blues and we got some Aretha, which is, kind of soul blues. And I tell you, I don't know where you came up with those singers, but I'd never heard them before, and I'll just sit back there and try to soak it in, because it's good. And it's going to be like that at the performance too.
Yeah, I think they'll try to show out at the performance.
They're good.
Well, I know by now folks watching the show are wondering where they can get their tickets. So where is the best place for them to get tickets?
Salida has some in her shop, which is on Broad. So I'll call out some names of people. Most people will know them. Jackie Jenkins got tickets. Of course, I have tickets. Salida's got tickets. So just call my number, and what I do is one of the persons in town, I'll make sure that they get tickets to those particular people. We have an office downtown, but I don't keep it open, so I'm not going to tell them to go to the office for that. We'll find a way to get the tickets to them. Okay. Jesse Reed is supposed to also set up buy your ticket online. So I hadn't checked to see if that's been set up yet, but that's another means of.
So you think at this point the best bet is the phone number?
Yes, please.
Okay, and it is this number on the flyer? So that's 706-622-7917.
Right.
Okay.
Yes.
And we're coming up on a break in a little bit here. When we come back, we will go through all the particulars again for you, the date, the time, the location, and the phone number to get tickets. So if you need something to write with, now is your opportunity. We will be right back a little more after this, so stay with us.
Eva Marie smoked 12,000 packs of cigarettes over 15 years. She quit, and now there's a new lung cancer screening that could save her life. You stopped smoking. Now start screening. No matter how much you smoked, early detection could save you. Talk to your doctor or learn more at savedbythescan.org.
Welcome back to Community Watch. We've been talking with Willie May Samuel and Russell McClanahan about a spectacular event coming up on Friday, March 8th, just in a few days here, an affair to remember with some excellent blues music and food, and it's only $35 a person. It's a great cause. You need to plan to be there now. And if it's 6:30 to 10:30 on that evening, March 8th, at the Rome Civic Center. And if you, not if, but when you are ready to get your tickets, you should call Ms. Samuel, 706-622-7917, and you'll get your tickets. So thank y'all. for being with us.
Thank you, Greg.
And thank you for being with us, and we'll see you next time on Community Watch.